for today's cup of coffee, we are going to do like two beans, but they're kind of sort of the same, but kind of sort of not.
Uh-huh.
And
what are they?
these are guardians or guardian spirits.
Oh, sort of like
or guardian
angels?
angels. Yeah, so I'm just kind of lumping all of them together on this.
Okay, work.
And with the guardian and or guardian spirit, this is a protective spirit that advises, warns, or defends the subject of its protection. This aspect of guardianship is often associated with a personal spirit assigned to a human at birth. And I also need to pause and tell you that this comes from the Encyclopedia, Spirits, Fairies, Leprechauns, and Goblins by Carol Rose.
It's a wonderful
book.
book.
I'm just enjoying this. I could just lose myself for days in this. Okay, this may be a guardian angel or a grind, or in the ancient Greek and Roman cultures, a daemon. It's not demon. It's not demon. It's daemon.
Yaman.
Or lar.
Jamaican mom.
I didn't take Greek. I had smatterings of Latin, but not Greek.
Jamaican mom.
For the Native Americans and Native Australians, acquiring their guardian spirit was an important step to achieving maturity and status within the community. Their guardian spirit was often manifest in the form of an animal. So with that, we often call those totems.
Spirit animals?
Mm-hmm. Other guardians in European folk beliefs appear only at the time of most urgent need and fulfill that role in many different forms, often in the shape of a familiar animal, especially that of a dog.
Huh.
Which I thought was interesting. That we've heard lots of the bad things about dogs, but I think this is the first one that I've heard as far as a protective thing of a dog.
Right.
While most instances of guardian spirits tend to involve the care of a human, such spirits may also be assigned to protect places or objects of veneration that require supernatural care. Ancient mounds, standing stones, treasures, and luck-bringing artifacts figure in legends from around the world of supernatural guardianship. Many stories tell of humans who have been saved by the unexpected appearance of a guardian dog. One such story,
I have actually heard of that before.
One such story relates how an old farmer had been caught in a freezing fog on the top of a Quintock, or in the Quintock Hills in Somerset, England. Feeling his way with difficulty in the cold, he suddenly felt what he took to be a familiar coat of his sheepdog and urged him, "Home, boy." When he emerged out of the fog in front of his house, the farmer heard his own dog barking from within. Turning swiftly, the man observed his guardian dog assume unnatural proportions before it evaporated into the fog.
Oh, that's spooky. I like that.
It's spooky, but it's really cool.
Yeah, that is honestly really cool.
And then as far as the guardian angels, and angels are something I had read in here, her view on angels, which I didn't totally agree with. But that's okay, because we're going to go with her version of guardian angels, because I think right now everybody needs to be reminded that we have good guys that are there to help us.
Yeah.
So, in the beliefs of the peoples who belong to the Latin, Greek, and Russian Orthodox and Anglican churches, though not official doctrine, a guardian angel is assigned by the Almighty to each individual from the hour of birth until their final judgment. The ancient Egyptians considered that each individual had 3 guardian angels. Both the ancient Greeks and Romans considered that there were 2. The latter believed that one was good and the other evil. In Russian folklore, this prevails as good and bad bees. B-E-S. Or bes? Bees? We'll have to ask Yates the correct pronunciation on
Not
that
the bees.
Anyhow,
Not the bees.
Two guardian angels. It's Michael and Raphael, but it's actually pronounced Michael. That is the Hebrew pronunciation of that. Michael. Are named in the scriptures, and the Roman Catholic Church celebrates a feast day for guardian angels on October the 2nd.
Ooh.
Well, that's cool. That's something else that we'll have to put on our calendar.
Yeah.
In the Islamic faith, 4 guardian angels are assigned to each human, 2 to ward off danger during the day and 2 for the night. That's really neat.
That is.
In general, the guardian angels accompany their charges, usually invisibly, taking note of their good and bad deeds and bringing supernatural intervention when they have piously prayed for divine help. The responsibility to the individual is guidance and support in adversity, particularly in warding off temptation. They also record the activities of the individual for the coming of the day of judgment. So we can see how that is.
Yeah.
And since we have Rosh Hashanah, because we do Hebrew roots, and Rosh Hashanah is also the Feast of Trumpets, and within that, it is said that the books of life are opened on that day and are reviewed, that it's a review of the previous year. And do we deserve another year or not?
Right, exactly.
So
I would hope we do.
well, it's a matter of being introspective.
Yeah.
And for us to examine what we did right, what we did wrong, where we can improve. You know, repentance, to set that. Repentance doesn't just mean saying, "Oops, sorry, God." It is to truly understand, know what you did, who it affected, and to not do it again.
To understand that your actions have consequences.
Absolutely.
Be it good or be it bad.
Mm-hmm.
People think consequences, when people mention consequences, people immediately associate that to a negative connotation. They immediately have a negative connotation to consequences. But that's not how it is.
No, it's not.
Because all actions have consequences of some sort.
Sure. And it's a matter of, in the past year, was it a matter of you bringing blessings or being a curse to others?
Right.
You know. So, but as far as guardian angels, guardian spirits, that's that little voice when you're getting ready to do something that you really shouldn't do.
It's your conscience.
Well, what is the difference? What is the difference
No,
between
I'm
a
saying
guardian
that's what your
spirit?
conscience
Absolutely.
is.
You're right. And it's that little voice that's like, don't do that. Get out of here. There will always be a way of escape made out of temptation. It's just that other people like to make excuses for their own bad behavior and bad choices.
Right. Exactly.
So, but it's a matter of emotional maturity and spiritual maturity to sit there and go, yeah, I see this. I could have done this, or I could have done this differently.
Right.
Rather than blaming someone else, because that emotionally immature, and we have a world full of people like that right now.
We know people like that.
Oh, everybody knows people like that. We have people like that on a global scale.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's not my fault. So-and-so made me. That's like that old adage. It was back in the 70s, the devil made me do it.
Yeah.
No, the devil a lot of times doesn't have to work hard at all. Because, you know, when we're doing his job, he can sit back and laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think everybody, like I said, needs to be reminded right now that we do have protection around us if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're doing something, God's protection does not include you doing things that are against his will.
Right.
And that's the reason the Torah works for me is because it's written down. It's pretty much policy and procedure. Do this, don't do that. And there are days I'm like, I'm glad I've got that written down.
Yeah. Very plain instructions.
Absolutely.
Book of life.
Yeah, it is. It is very much. And it's how to treat other people, how to treat society, what we're supposed to do.
It's like
Don't go out here and steal your neighbor's stuff. Don't go out here and sleep with your neighbor's wife.
There's a story about this one woman. For some reason, she hated her neighbor or whatever, or her neighbor hated her, and she stole the most stupid item from her that she could have stolen. It was a bucket. Actually, no, it was a watering can.
Right.
And then she was like, yeah, I guess you could have it back. I guess you could have it. it's mine, but I guess you could have it.
Yeah.
Even though it was hers.
Right.
Even though it wasn't hers to give back to the lady. Because it was the lady's.
Right. And her not wanting to admit her wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And people get the word sin, they hear that, and there's all kinds of religious connotations that goes with that because people have been, a lot of times, very much wounded by religion. And sin is actually an archery term, and it means to miss the mark.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. All of us do that. You know, how
That's
many
not
of us,
gonna
it's like we speak out of anger instead of empathy
There
or forgiveness.
is no one in this earth that is living that has not sinned.
Right. And I think that it's
So
arrogance.
why have a holier-than-thou attitude when you're probably more sinful than others?
Right. And that's
Do
a matter
not cast the first stone. He who
Personal.
said without sin shall cast the first stone. And no
Absolutely.
one on this world can do that.
Right. And it's like it's a matter of personal accountability, responsibility.
Yeah.
And people and forgiveness. Going back to the forgiveness where people are digging up stuff from what? A decade ago? Really?
Exactly. People are literally digging stuff up from like 2005.
Now that's just foolishness.
Yeah.
People make mistakes. They grow. They learn from their mistakes.
But they don't want to accept
hopefully.
that. They don't want to. They don't want to accept that that people can grow within 2 years.
Well, it's also one of those.
They can change.
Everybody wants forgiveness, but you've got to be willing to forgive somebody else.
Exactly.
You know? And it's just like the watering can. You have to wonder, why would she steal the watering can?
She did a lot of stuff to that neighbor.
Just to aggravate and torment.
Mm-hmm.
And you've
She
got to
hated her
wonder,
for some reason.
was it trying to get the neighbor to lash out?
Possibly.
She could have been, now the devil is opportunistic. He'll use anything to get people to do something that they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. But the lady didn't, yell at her or cuss her out. She was she was very polite to the lady. She was just like, hey, I think you have my watering can. I don't know if it was by accident or my kids left it over here. But the fact that she blamed the son first for stealing the water can, even though it was the neighbor, that's what pissed me off. Because she blamed her kid before the neighbor.
Well, yeah. And that happens sometimes. Parents make mistakes, too.
I understand that.
Kids need to realize, after they get to a certain level, they're like, they're actually people.
I mean, yeah.
And they're screwed up just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a degree of screwed upness.
Yeah, exactly. How fucked up is too fucked up? That's
absolutely.
fucked up.
So it's just one of those that if we want forgiveness, we need to forgive. And these are some of the, if you listen to that inner voice, which very much could be these guardian angels or these guardian spirits telling you what to do or what not to do. 9 times out of 10, if you do something and that you shouldn't have done, you will go back and remember, I didn't listen to that little voice inside that said, don't do this.
And everybody has done that.
Sure they have. Absolutely.
Always listen to your gut.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Unless it's telling you to do something ungodly, and that is not the voice of God.
Yeah, don't listen to that one.
And that includes that voice that condemns you. That is not the voice of God. If something tells you that you are anything other than a beloved child of the Most High God, then that's the voice of the enemy.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's your cup of coffee for today, and leaving you with a positive message.
Yeah.
We've been brought through another week that gives us a day of rest and a day of reflection and a day to be grateful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, guardian angels, those would be great stories for somebody to send in.
Yeah.
If you've got local legends, family legends, myths, stuff like that, send us an email to cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. The email address is always in the description box.
Yeah.
And we're very thankful for the people that take the time to give our little ponderings, our porch ponderings, a listen.
Incredibly thankful and grateful for it.
So, and we actually do pray for all our viewers and stuff.
Absolutely.
So you get free prayers with us.
Whether or not you're a believer or not, we still pray. It's
sure.
fine. There's nothing wrong with that because we're wishing nothing but love on you.
We're not forcing our views. We're sharing what we do and why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean,
because you're not supposed to force.
Absolutely not. You don't force nothing.
Your beliefs on other people. That's why Christians have the stigma that they do, because the church does that.
Yeah. That's why we call ourselves believers a lot of times.
Absolutely. It's just like, no, I just believe in God. That's it.
Yeah. Follow Christ.
Yeah.
He did it right, and it's like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and if you've got prayer requests, hey, send those to us.
Yeah.
I'll definitely pray for you.
Absolutely.
I've had lots and lots of experience with prayer.
Absolutely. Or if you have a video, or if you have something that you want to make us a video about in particular, send a video request.
Sure.
To her email.
Yeah, if you got a topic that you'd like us to look up, that'd be great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a matter of audience participation.
Absolutely.
Instead of just us,
And if y'all want us to do a Q&A, we will.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. Anyhow, you all have a blessed, beautiful day.
Absolutely.
Extra coffee for everybody.
Halloween stuff is also at the Dollar General. Go check it out.
Bye.
Bye.